I wish I could say what you're seeing on your screen as far as the title of this article that I'm about to read is going to be even remotely surprising, but I can't say that it is because I can't tell you how many times I've done stories like this from the state that we are currently in, that state being North Carolina. So it says teacher resigns after telling black students they would be field slaves without constitution. Now, you want to know what's so funny or interesting, rather, the irony of this whole thing is that you have a lot of palm colored people who will say that we need to get over race and all this and all of that all the time. And then as soon as they say that, a numerous amount of these type of stories always pop up. They would like to want to, they tell themselves they want to get away from racism and all of that. But to be honest, they really can't. They really don't, because they know that that's what keeps them afloat. If they can't talk about that, and I'm talking about the ones that are so engulfed with it, they have no other talking point. That's why I said, wouldn't it be something interesting if one day they woke up and we weren't here? Who would they? What would they talk about? They probably find something, but it wouldn't have the same effect. And I always say, not far removed from their ancestors. They like to say, "Oh, we weren't slaves, and slave owners. You weren't slaves." But this person was not a slave owner. The people that they're referring to aren't slaves, but they would like to reenact that part of history that they did not partake in. I guess they want to see what the good old days was really like, at the expense of black students, black kids. That's why I can't take them seriously when they talk about why is it a race thing? Because you, in more than anyone I could think of, tend to make it about race. And when black people speak out about it and call it for what it is, then that's when you don't want to talk about it, because then you know you're going to lose the conversation or the argument or whatever the discord may be. A teacher in North Carolina has resigned after telling black students in her class that they would be her field slaves if not for the Constitution, one of several recent racist incidents at the charter school, according to a parent. In September, the 8th grade English teacher at Winterville Charter Academy, who they have not given a name, near Greenville, had black students raise their hands on Constitution Day and told them that they would be her field slaves without the founding document. After the incident sparked heated discussion between parents on social media, Winterville's principal, Anastasia Ryan, sent a letter on October 5th alerting families to the situation. As soon as we were made aware, we immediately took action, she wrote. The result was a teacher resignation. And see, that's the thing, a resignation, which means she was not fired. And if y'all hear some noise in the background, that's because someone is like cutting my yard. Hold on. Okay, back to what I was saying. They just let this person resign. We don't even know this person's name. They just let them resign, which means if they wanted to, because we don't know their identity, they could just pop up at another school. They just let them resign, and which means they don't lose that pay. They get a nice little, little check to send them on their way, and they'll pop up at another school. And like I said, because we don't know who this person is, and because the media is not putting out there who it is, when they can just go into another school and they won't even know who they are. Like, they could easily go in there and say, "Oh, I just resigned from this school," and give them a reason as to why. And it's not going to be this one. The teacher will not return to the school, and Ryan iterated that culturally sensitive training, here they go with that crap, would be available to the former instructor as well as current and future teachers. Why would you get this? You know what burns me up more than that intersectionality talk is this cultural sensitive training that they be doing for these races, whether they're teachers, whether they're in a regular job, or more importantly, even when it comes to the police departments. You cannot give cultural sensitive training to people who have an innate hatred towards another group. You cannot train that away. This is who this person has always been. Of course, they'll probably say, "Oh, they were just joking," because a lot of things to them seems to be a laughing matter, with the exception of them low birth rates and that opioid plague. Then everything's not funny anymore. But that cultural sensitivity training that they try to do, or that diversity training that they be trying to do, that does nothing. You know what? I wish I could be a fly on the wall one day and just look and see what they talk about in there. And I bet you a bunch of crap. That does nothing. that they just say that just to say that. They need to get rid of that because that doesn't help. Clearly it doesn't. Our school culture is built on one of acceptance, love, and respect to serve all children and their families, Ryan said in her letter. The inner workings of our school are surrounded by intentional effort to eliminate implicit and explicit bias. But some parents and students believe the school's reaction wasn't strong enough. Heavily agree. That's like putting a band-aid on a flesh wound. Alleging nothing was done until the incident was made public on social media, which means if no one had said anything, they wouldn't have done anything. Which also implies that they believe the school probably already knew this woman was doing something, but they didn't do anything until it got out there. I believe that the school was aware of it, and they decided to just keep brushing it off, said parent Kanisha Tillman. Tillman said that the parents planned to have a meeting with the principal after the incident, but the doors were locked when they got to the school, and officials told them the meeting had been canceled. There you go. Now, that's the same principal who put out that crappy cultural sensitivity training. So the parents were going up there to meet with the principal, but they canceled the meeting all of a sudden and the doors was locked. Because they knew the parents was about to come up there and give that principal that work. So as far as I'm concerned, this principal, this Anastasia Ryan, she's just as complicit with this as everybody else involved. And they're giving cover to the teacher. One, because they didn't tell us who the teacher was. Two, they didn't fire the teacher. They just let them resign. They just basically let them walk right on off into the sunset. Tillman, whose child was in the English class, said that students have made complaints about racist incidents at the charter school before, but nothing was ever done. The parents cited one incident in which a group of black students were talking about how racist it is to compare black people to monkeys. During the discussion, a teacher happened to walk by and allegedly told the students, "It's okay, you're all my little monkeys," Tillman said. And the questionable comments don't end there. According to the parent, others have alleged that black and white students have been treated differently in class. In one incident, Tillman explained to the Associated Press that a white student allegedly called a black classmate a monkey. The black student reported the incident to the teacher, and the teacher said that it was fine and we're all a little bit racist. In turn, the black child called the white student a cracker, and the teacher threatened disciplinary action. You want to know what's interesting? Before I even read that line, I was about to say that black student should have said something back to him, and look at what popped up. But look at how the teacher responded to the black student versus the white student. The white student called the black student a monkey. The black student told the teacher what he said or what they said, and they said we're all little monkeys or we're all little whatever that thing was. But when the black student came back and called the white student a cracker, then they have disciplinary action threatened upon them. So see, there it is right there. And that was the litmus test right there. But I can't even be mad at the student for saying that, because it is so rare that you'll have a black student even say that out of their mouth. Ryan has also noted in her memo to Winterville families that the school is investigating another incident in which a racist comment was allegedly made by a student who never faced consequences. So like I said, this school just seems to just let things just slide on by. And I'm not surprised or shocked that this is definitely the case. I mean, we constantly hear about this all the time. And you want to know when we didn't hear about it the most? Last year, when the students were doing virtual learning. Not saying that they didn't happen, but if they did, they weren't happening as frequently until you get back into the classroom. So as far as I'm concerned, the teacher, this school, and that principal can all go to hell. Because they did absolutely nothing. And then when the parents is about to confront the principal, they canceled the meeting and locked the doors. Because the principal knew that she was about to get that work. She was about to get an earful. She already knew what she was doing. So now they need to try to get this principal up out of her position. And I mean fired, not no resign, fired. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.